Hello everyone, this is Eagle Owl. I'm going to make a video that I don't really see, about a topic that I don't really see people talking about. But I think it's an interesting topic and it could be very informative. This video is called Why Sarms and Other Drugs and Supplements Are Not Approved by the FDA. Okay, let me give you a foundation to begin with. The FDA, they're basically, there's a lot of issues with them. A lot of people that work on the board for the FDA also have specific interests in basically the drug community. Like, they have a background, they come from the drug community. The organization is filled with corruption. The pharmaceutical community makes billions upon billions of dollars on a regular basis, and they pay politicians, they pay people that are politicians and people in the FDA to allow things to go the way that they wish them to go. When you realize how massively big the pharmaceutical industry is and how much money they make, you start to realize why they would approach things with less than noble intentions. When you're selling man-made pharmaceutical drugs, you want something that there's a few things you want. First of all, you need constant repeat return customers. It's just like an actual drug dealer. You need constant return customers. If the people only need your product once and then they're done, that highly restricts your profit. Or if they only need it every once in a great while, that highly restricts your profit also. So, like I said, you need customers that are constantly returning. You also need lots of customers. Okay. Now, you can't cure a lot of illnesses, because once it's cured, then you're creating a massive society of people who will no longer ever need your product again, and you're basically cutting your own head off. You'll go out of business. So the goal is not to cure diseases where, like I said, where millions of people take your product once and then they never need it again, because within one generation, there would be so few people that need the item that you sell that you would go out of business. If you're a business and your goal is to make money, you're not going to do things that intentionally cause you to lose tons of money and go out of business. So you're starting to see where I'm going with this. Now, basically the FDA is in charge of man-made or man-altered drugs, chemicals. Apparently they don't have authority over a naturally occurring substance, meaning like if it's just a basic vitamin, a basic mineral, just a basic plant that you simply pull out of the ground and grind it up and throw it in a jar, their authority isn't over that. So whenever you take a health product, and there's always a disclaimer on the back of the bottle that says, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease or illness. People read that on a lot of stuff you buy, and when you read that, it almost sounds like you're saying, well, we can't promise you that, we're not fully claiming that our product helps or cures anything. It almost sounds like it's almost like misleading, like it makes you question the effectiveness of it. But it has to be done that way because it's a naturally occurring ingredient. So any kind of vitamin, mineral, ground up plant, common ingredient, it's going to have that disclaimer on it because, like I said, it's not under the authority of the FDA. You either have to take a natural ingredient and add man made ingredients to it, or you've got to biologically alter a naturally occurring ingredient to where it's no longer in its natural state. And then once you've done that, now the FDA has authority over it. So there's that. So don't be dissuaded whenever you read that on a bottle, that it doesn't treat or cure or prevent a disease, because that really doesn't mean anything. Um, when I brought up the part about them not wanting something that is super highly effective or that cures anything or makes you way better, just like that drug dealer, he wants you addicted to the drug he sells. He wants you to keep coming back. He wants you to need it desperately. Um, when a drug dealer sells street drugs, you feel good for a few hours, and then when it wears off, there's a sudden need for that item again. Your brain and your body desperately needs it again. That's what keeps their profit going. It's the same with the pharmaceutical industry. It's just they are legalized drug dealers. They have the okay by our government to be drug dealers. So they're not a whole lot different than the ones on the streets. It's just they're a lot bigger. They're a lot bigger fish in the ocean. They are, and it's been approved and legalized by, like I said, politicians who are often in bed with them. SARMs are very effective, and the FDA knows that. Now, if you're taking something that is highly effective in preventing muscle from wasting, makes you much healthier, and makes you more readily grow more muscle, become stronger, become healthier, that alone is cutting into the profit of all these minimally effective drugs that they make all their money from return customers. That is competition to all the drugs that they sell that have minimal effect. They don't want these highly effective supplements that when people are taking them regular, so many people, they're gaining more muscle, they're becoming stronger, their immune system is becoming stronger, they're losing more fat, they're becoming leaner, they're becoming healthier. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want a society that's made up of a majority of the people who are continuously getting healthier and healthier and healthier. The more healthier everybody becomes, the more their profits drop. So SARMs are a hindrance to their entire livelihood. So now it's starting to get a picture of where I'm going with this. So when you buy a SARM, it is also labeled, it basically says not for human consumption. It says, laboratory testing only, not for human consumption. They can't, by law, label it as being for human consumption. The FDA would come in and shut them down, fine them, put them in jail if they have to, whatever it takes. So they can't, by law, label it as being for human consumption. The first time I bought a bottle of SARMs, it made me slightly nervous because it says right on the bottle, you're a human, don't be consuming this. I mean, to a lot of people, that's kind of alarming. And, it almost made me alarmed, and I'm aware of how the pharmaceutical industry is, and I'm aware of the game they play. And it almost made me hesitant. So I'm sure it has that effect on lots of other people who don't realize how nefarious the pharmaceutical industry can be. Most SARMs have a half-life of 24 to 36 hours. The half-life, if a half-life is 24 hours, that means after 24 hours, it's lost 50% of its effectiveness in your system. That's a very long half-life. Most common, like pain pills and stuff, a common half-life is about 4 hours. So 4 hours after you take your ibuprofen, your Tylenol, your Nipro Roxon, which is Aleve, 4 hours after you take it, its effectiveness has been cut in half. I don't have evidence, but I believe, knowing human nature and the desire to profit, that they've probably, when they're making this stuff in the lab, they design it intentionally to have a short half-life. The quicker it wears off, the quicker you go through a whole bottle, and the quicker, more often, you have to buy more. The products that you buy have to have some effectiveness, some temporary effectiveness. If nothing happened, nothing made nobody feel better, then people wouldn't buy it. So it does have the ability to numb pain for a short period of time. Doesn't cure anything, doesn't give a long-term help to anything, but for a short period of time, for 3 to 4 hours, the pain is reduced. So your brain knows that, like I said, temporarily you're feeling some relief. And so it's not just pure snake oil, it helps a little bit. But this is the reason why Sarms and naturally occurring supplements and various other drugs are not approved by the FDA. And it's also the reason why, if a major illness, if a cure for a major illness like cancer and other serious illnesses is discovered, they would do everything in their power to prevent that from being known and getting out on a mass scale. If a cure for cancer was allowed to get out, the pharmaceutical industry would lose billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. And they don't want that. So a little bit of something to think about. This is Eagle Owl. Thanks for watching.